Hello, everybody. I keep getting asked why I don't have any videos in English, only in Russian. And that's right. Why don't I have any? I decided to make a video today in English exclusively for my blog readers. And in this video, I want to address the recent social media kerfuffle that has been taking place. I wanted to write about it at first, but honestly, at the end of the semester, I'm really overwhelmed and don't have any energy for that. So the particular kerfuffle that I wanted to address has to do with a doctoral dissertation written and defended by a woman nobody knew about until very recently when she posted on X the title and the abstract of her doctoral dissertation, which is titled uh, Olfactory Ethics, the Politics of Smell in Modern and Contemporary Prose. And the abstract explains that this doctoral dissertation analyzes, and I quote, smells application in creating and subverting gender, class, sexual, racial, and species power structures. When people on X found out about the existence of this doctoral dissertation, many were massively incensed to the point of sending just ridiculous, insulting messages to this woman and creating a huge wave of indignation. One ex-user wrote that this woman is everything that is wrong with today's society, etc., etc. So I want to explain why the people who engaged in this kerfuffle are morons. And this is the point of this video. Of course, people are going to tell me that you're defending this PhD in English literature because you're a professor of literature and you do the same kind of useless research as she does. Of course, you're defending her. And yes, absolutely. That is exactly what I'm doing. No sarcasm intended. That's exactly what I'm doing. I write this kind of utterly useless stuff. I have dedicated my life to it. And I now want to explain why people who decry this kind of uselessness in which all of us in the humanities engage for much of our time, and some of us for the majority of our time, like myself. I want to explain why these denunciations are utterly and completely stupid. The reason why they're stupid is that Marx was wrong. Marx was wrong, my friends. The main issue on which Marx was wrong, his underlying fundamental idea, is that everything in life is defined by material considerations. Economic factors are everything. For Marx, they are the basis of how we think, how we act, how the society is composed. Marx had it completely ass backwards, I'm sorry to say. Oh no, I'm not sorry to say because that would be a sad, sad, miserable world where everything was just completely materialistic and there existed nothing beyond that. Marx was wrong in that, yes, absolutely, economic considerations are important. The material reality which we inhabit is very, very important, but it is not definitive of absolutely everything. The actual basis for everything, the actual foundation, our ideas, are what we think about, our reality. I'm sure that, and it doesn't mean that thought can transform objective reality. No, it cannot. But it can transform our understanding of objective reality, which actually is just as important. We can see people in all sorts of life circumstances, and some of them are going to be happy with little, and others are going to be miserable with a lot, because that is how their way of thinking is set up. So, what you feel about the circumstances of your life is absolutely in no way objective. It is something that stems from your subjectivity, from your uh, completely your understanding of the world. And curiously, the people who were denouncing this woman with a doctoral dissertation, without even knowing that, they tragically and pathetically interiorized Marxist, socialist way of thinking, which positions that everything which is not productive in the immediately observable way, everything that is not uh, cannot be translated into the language of economic utility should not exist. It's useless because it has no meaning at all. And it's funny because these are supposed to be conservative people who have absorbed precisely the mentality that they purport to dislike. Why does this happen? This happens because in every society that is not completely poverty-stricken and just miserable third world hellhole, there is going to be a group of people engaged in these completely useless pursuits of reading, thinking, talking, exploring ideas that for a regular person might seem like complete weirdness with zero practical applications. There's this really wonderful novel by the German novelist Hermann Hesse called The Glass Bead Game, where he describes precisely this kind of imaginary country where people get together and they pursue the most arcane, useless, needless forms of knowledge. And the societies that can develop and maintain, that they have money to feed, house, and clothe, and keep in leisure, uh, an existing, I'm not saying necessarily a large, but an existing class of these intellectuals who are going to create ideas is a society that's going to be able to have its own ideas. Because if you do not have in your own society a group of intellectuals who create these thoughts, these ideas, you're going to have some other societies' ideas seep into that space because ideas do come first. So nobody is a completely solitary, hugely intellectually independent special cookie, as much as we want to think that we are, but we're absolutely not. Our interiority, our inner world is woven together from strands of thoughts and ideas created by others. And these ideas can define us in a way that we never even fully realize. The idea that we're going to have some sort of a very important government action, for example, that is going to root out any of the remnants of the DEI in education is a deeply socialist idea, right? Because it positions the role of the government as being so supreme that it can actually tell people what to think. It can actually impose its own mentality on people. And that's ludicrous. It's not how it works at all. Socialism doesn't work. Marxism is mistaken. And we do no favors to ourselves by pretending that they do and by interiorizing these beliefs about the primacy of material production and material circumstances in our lives. Uh, the problem that we're experiencing with life of the mind in developed Western societies is that the life of the mind has been completely, I would say 98% of it has been handed over to left-wing forces. Uh, Conservatives have really dropped the ball doing next to nothing to develop their own intellectuals, to have their own intellectuals who are going to be developing these ideas, spending a lot of time playing the glass bead game, playing around with ideas, no matter how weird and arcane and olfactory ethical they're going to seem to somebody else. And as a result, that space was completely dominated by the left wing thoughts, ideas, beliefs. And what we're seeing in this kerfuffle is people trying to use this very, very primitive form of Marxism without knowing that that's what they're doing in order to denounce the very existence of this group of people who are going to create ideas, who are going to create thoughts. That is dumb. That is dumb and self-defeating because as conservatives, we have already done more than enough to ensure that we have zero impact on the world of ideas in the West. We do not need to contribute to digging that hole even deeper. It's just so self-defeating, so stupid. Uh, we're looking at the doctoral dissertation of this young woman that is clearly very woke, very woke. And we get upset about that in this really passive, reactive way instead of saying, why do we only have this kind of research? Why do we have absolutely no other discussions in the field of humanities? The response should not be, let's destroy the humanities. It's ludicrous. Okay, we can destroy the humanities. I personally don't care because I have achieved everything I wanted professionally. I'm fine. But definitely let's destroy the humanities. Let's sit here without any ideas and instead see the ideas of other people, of other countries that are not that self-defeating, pour in and occupy that space because there is no society without ideas, right? Somebody is going to provide ideas for us. The way that ideas spread really reminds me of that famous scene in the movie The Devil Wears Prada, where there is this young character who believes that she doesn't follow fashion, she's completely anti-fashion. And then this older editor of a fashion magazine demonstrates to her in a very visual way how what that young woman is wearing actually is inspired by fashion trends in a very bastardized, kind of pathetic way. So this is how it works. We adopt ideas without knowing that we're doing so. And the response to the olfactory ethics in the politics of smell and of increasing wokeness, of wokeness, should be a creation of an alternative, that alternative conservative humanities that are going to be at least as attractive as whatever this young woman with the doctoral dissertation has encountered. We're not doing that. Spewing hatred and abuse is going to achieve absolutely nothing. It achieves nothing. We're not creating our alternative. We're just tantruming. And I agree that, racial and species power structures is sad. That is sad. But where is the alternative? Why are we not creating the alternative to that? Well, we're not because we're only used to reacting. We're not used to being proactive. When you see something, we react. We wave our hands, we close our eyes. We don't want to see it. Uh, and we want a magic pill. We want something, a big government structure that is going to come and ban this woke research, which is, again, as socialist an idea as humanly possible. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm in any way opposed to banning DEI institutions in academia. Obviously, I'm very much in favor. Yay, woohoo, let's do that. However, I have to say that this is not going to have much of an effect because the inhabitants of Castalia, the glass bead game players, will continue playing their glass bead games. They cannot be stopped. There is no totalitarian regime strong enough in the history of humanity that has been able to prevent the small group of people in society who want to develop ideas from developing ideas. That's just not humanly possible. People keep doing that and yelling at them to do it in a different way without showing a more attractive option, more attractive alternative is, as I said at the very beginning, moronic. On this positive, life uplifting note, I want to finish the video for today. Now, nobody can complain that I only speak in Russian in my videos. And everybody have a really, really wonderful day. Bye.